Webhook trigger. Triggers are the events that kickstart your workflow into action. In this lesson, we'll focus on configuring the webhook trigger for your workflows. A webhook trigger lets you start your RPA flow from any third-party service. Each workflow gets a unique endpoint URL, and every time you make a call to this URL, the workflow is triggered. You can also pass any necessary data as a payload to the URL, which can then be used in your workflow steps. Let's see how to set up this type of trigger. First, create your RPA flow. Go to the My Flows page in your account. From there, click the Create button and then select Create Flow. Once you've created the flow and are on the Builder page, you'll need to select the trigger event for your workflow. Then choose Webhook. Now choose the payload format. We offer options like JSON, form data, and plain text. For this example, we'll use JSON. You'll also see a unique URL endpoint here. Copy this URL and configure it in your third-party application. For this example, we'll use Postman to create a sample HTTP request. Create a new HTTP request with the copied URL and enter the necessary payload. Choose Post as the request type. Now go back to the browser and click Test to test this webhook. Then click Send in the Postman window. At this point, you'll see we've successfully received the input request we sent from Postman. Now let's look at the advanced options available for the payload. You can use the following advanced settings. Extract headers. Headers hold additional information transferred along with the HTTP request for purposes such as authorization and identification. This is useful when you've configured the same webhook URL in multiple applications or servers, as it allows you to determine which app sent the data that triggered the RPA flow. Extract only part of the payload. This option allows you to extract just a specific portion of the incoming data if you don't need the entire payload. Trigger flow for each entry. If the received payload is an array of entries, you can use this option to trigger the workflow for each entry. Now click Done. And that's it. You've successfully configured the webhook trigger. We'll explore actions in our next lesson.